Praveen Raul. He is AVP and Business Head MEP Internal Services and also leads energy management and green initiatives at Godrej and Boyce and has 18 years of diverse experience. He is also driving IIoT for shop floor digitalization at Godrej and Boyce. He is ME from Walchand College of Engineering, MBA from Great Lakes Institute of Management, Chennai. Mr. Raul is a certified professional in Group Captive Solar from Imperial College of London. He has also enrolled as a member of Indian Society for Technical Education, ISHRE, Indian Plumbing Association, as well as KEMA. Today, Mr. Praveen will talk about opportunities for HVAC design and consulting for large public spaces thermal control. So delegates, let's welcome Mr. Praveen.
So we have a very small time. The challenge is to cover a huge topic in 10 minutes, but I'll just touch upon few things. And what I'm trying to cover is indoor air quality in a centralized air conditioning system. Specifically, when we talk about public spaces, the focus is here on the commercial building because that's the area where we've done a lot of work, and I would like to share what are the strategies which has been adopted to improve the thermal comfort and the design techniques and energy management for HVAC. So these are the 3 points which I'll try and cover in next 10 minutes. Let me begin with the climate and the environment. If we talk about specific to India, then India is a country where there is a wide variation of temperature and relative humidity across different demography of the country. And currently with global warming and a lot of things which are happening with planet Earth, we could see that these variations in the temperature or humidity in the external environment, not only on the parameters, but also the quality of air which is present outside with the rising sea level temperature and a lot many things which are happening across the planet because of increase in the carbon footprint. What we could see is that in a daytime, you can experience all the 3 climate conditions. That's the condition. Now, when we talk about an air conditioning system, which has to be designed and adopted in such kind of abrupt changes in the climate, it's equally important to have appropriate controls in place, which can react to this based on the ambient conditions and then ensure a proper air quality in the closed environment for the occupant, as well as the proper thermal parameters. And that's the reason, if you look at an HVAC system, which primary has 2 purposes. One is regulating the temperature and the air quality, as well as recirculation of the air to remove out the odor, dust, particles, and all those things. While doing this, what plays an important role both at the high side and the low side of an air conditioning system, which is designed for such a big establishment, is the integrated building management systems, which controls the operations, all the fans, pumps, chillers, heaters, as well as the air handling unit, and ensure that all these things operates in an optimized manner to deliver the better quality as well as a better comfort for the occupant who is occupying the building. And that's the reason the design is very important when we go for a proper air conditioning system. Any building which is designed, building is meant for the people who occupies it. And the comfort of the people, it depends upon the thermal environment, the satisfaction which a user has based on the thermal environment in which he is working. And as my earlier speaker also spoke, there are a lot of parameters which defines the air quality, like temperature, relative humidity, ventilation, the filtration, CO2 concentration, and VOC, and all those. Let me focus here on 2 points which are more critical today, because IAQ was a topic which has been discussed in the past also. But ventilation and relative humidity are the 2 important parameters now in a post-COVID situation, where a lot of discussion and the research has been happening as far as the airborne transmission of SARS-CoV-2 is concerned. If you talk about relative humidity, it has to be designed in a manner so that it is maintained in a range of 40% to 60%. With a less humid, if you consider a dry humid, maybe 0 to 40%, what exactly happens is 3 things. One is the immune system, respiratory immune system, is unable to defend the virus, especially in current situation. And the second thing is that the air droplets, which consist of the virus, it evaporates and it shrinks and it becomes lighter in weight, and that's the reason it remains in air for a longer time. And that's the reason it's also active because of absence of physiochemical reaction. It remains active in an air for a long time. And that's the reason relative humidity is becoming more important in the design while doing a design for a public spaces. Earlier, if you refer, RH was monitored while doing a design for a healthcare applications, whether it's hospitals, operation theaters, and all those kind of applications. But now it is taking center stage for even for the public places. And ventilation is also equally important because that decides the air change per hour, which is to be maintained inside the room. The another thing is the temperature. Appropriate temperature is also equally important in order to have a proper well-being and productivity. If we see the impact of poor air quality, which earlier speaker also mentioned, 90% of the time we spend indoor, and that's the reason the way we design our systems, it has to be designed in such a way that the user or the occupant inhales the proper quality of the air, because poor quality doesn't drops the productivity, but also it increases the chances of the contamination, the viruses, and all those things which impacts the health of the occupant. One of the factors that when we spend 90% of the time in the indoor environment, 11,000 liters of air is inhaled every day. So it's very important to understand the quality of the air which we inhale. And there are a lot of measurement devices to measure these levels of air quality because it has a direct impact on the health. There are standards which are related for all these parameters, and basically air quality index is something which is monitored, where it's a combination of all these indoor air quality parameters, which helps you to decide whether the air quality is better, worse, and it gives us a confidence to the people. If you could see in most of the public places nowadays, they have started displaying the air quality, the carbon dioxide, and that gives a confidence to the people that yes, I'm entering into a zone which has a better quality. Most of the factories, both in the shop floor as well as in an open environment, you could see that those kinds of indicators are done. Now, if we have to be ensured that we are entering into a healthy building, it's not only the optimal temperature and relative humidity, but there are a lot many things which has to be also seen into, both in terms of the other parameters like the carbon, the OPEX, operating expenses of that buildings, the carbon emissions, the energy footprint, and then many other things. So collectively, there are a lot of certifications which keeps on happening. Most of you might be aware, IGBC, UIGBC, there is a international wellness building instruments which certifies the building whether it's a healthy or not. Now to have that building as a healthy, it's not only the air, but there are many other parameters which has to be monitored in synchronized manner to see that the building is a healthy building. Now, when we specifically talk about design, and especially in a COVID situation, apart from the engineering controls, because in a greenfield project, if you look at it, it's the architecture of the building which decides lot many things. And at an initial stage, you can bring in those parameters because you are at a fresh, you are building it from the scratch, and you have a good opportunity to orient the building to ensure the cross ventilation, airflow, and all those things, and you can integrate advanced technology. But in a brownfield project, it's equally important to see that how do we modify the existing system to cope to the maybe the COVID scenario, or to see that there is a better indoor air quality for the occupants who are occupying it. And when we talk about engineering controls, there are two things which primarily comes in. One is the ventilation and the mechanical filtration. The reason behind the size of the COVID, the coronavirus is very, very less. It's around 80 to 160 nanometer, and no filter design can block it. The point here is that there are carriers which can carry it, and those has to be blocked. And how to do that? There are techniques which are there. While designing an air conditioning systems, it's more important to look at the filtrations, and we have a lot of MOW rating filters which are available, and we can choose the filters based on the efficiency, the penetration of the virus through the filtration. These filters can be selected. There is another technique where you might have heard about ultraviolet germicidal irradiations, which is UVGI, where we are using an electromagnetic radiations to deactivate the pathogens and ensure a better air quality for the occupants. Apart from this, there are other methods like thermal and ionizers, but these methods are not efficient, as well as they are not proven, they are not certified, because still the research are going on in terms of implementing these methods for better air quality. If we focus on the filtration, then ASHRAE also talks about MOW 13, and along with MOW 13, if we go with an equivalent method of air cleaning, then that can be proven as a better method for cleaning and having a better comfort air quality inside the room. Especially in a public spaces, one of the thing is the filtration becomes a primary area while designing it, and generally in a commercial building, MOW 7 or MOW 8 is the filter which is used. If you see the efficiency on the right side, it's in the range of 40 to 55%. It's recommended to go for MOW 13 filter, which are 89% efficient, and you could see a jump of 14% improvement in the efficiency. HEPA filters are nothing but MOW 16, but that gives a marginal improvement from MOW 13 to MOW 16. That's the reason most of the installations are now going ahead with MOW 13 filter, even for the public spaces. It comes with a cost, but if you see a combination of MOW 13 filter with ultraviolet radiation, that helps us to improve the thermal temperature difference which is there in terms of the efficiency of the air handling unit as well as the chiller systems. And that's the reason, although there is a cost associated with it, the overall efficiency of the system, if you see, it's always much better. The second method is the ultraviolet. Here there are three things. One is we need to do a proper computational fluid dynamics analysis to understand the better feasibility of the UVGI. The second is the wavelength. 253.5 nanometer is the better wavelength to kill the not only a normal bacteria and viruses, but also a SARS-CoV-2, and the irradiation of the UVGI. The only challenge here is the safety, because it cannot be used in an open environment where it impacts the skin and the eyes of an user. And that's the reason it also has to be in a closed environment and has to be designed with an interlock, proper interlock. There are industry recommendations while designing an air conditioning for the public spaces, like ventilations. Earlier we were talking about 4 to 5 ACPH. Now a lot of OEM and the industry recommendations is around 6 to 10 air change per hour. AHUs has to be operated before and afterwards to flush out the contaminated air from the room. That's another practice which is generally adopted. And temperature and humidity, which I spoke. So these are the four methods which are required and essential today while designing an air conditioning system. But there are other methods which we discussed, like filtration and UVGI, which can be used along with this four method, as well as in case of concentrated places where you have waiting rooms and public places, there a portable air purifiers which has an HEPA filters can be definitely used in order to clean and improve the quality of the air. There are a lot of innovative designs which are adopted now, because air conditioning consumption, if we see in a building, it is around 40%, and it's a huge, and that's the reason the entire focus is more on the energy efficiency, but a proper balance has to be struck or trade-off between the efficiency and the comfort of the people. A lot of techniques are there in terms of apart from the architectural, which I spoke, with building orientations and other things, but automation, building management system, variable frequency drives, geothermal system that is also picking up. It's an innovative method where you can eliminate the cooling tower and do the heat transfer. Heat can be thrown out through a geothermal system. So these are some of the methods which are used. both at the high side as well as at the low side. Nowadays, we also have a chiller systems which are variable speed drives, which also gives a good amount of energy efficiency. Cooling towers with multiple fans, speed or multiple fans. Those are also next gen cooling towers, which are not only in terms of helps you in reducing the energy consumption by 5%, but also reduces the water by around 8%. Water consumption also gets reduced with this kind of cooling towers. So these are certain new systems which can be adopted. Yeah, sorry if I'm running out of time. This is my last slide. This is my last slide. Yeah. So apart from there, the energy management systems, I'll only say that just to summarize, an healthy environment needs to be ensured in a large public spaces. It can be possible if we have a right HVAC design. And the second point is that the HVAC system alone doesn't help. Maybe a proper BMS which is integrated with an HVAC system can give you a desired level of thermal comfort, and it also helps you to not only proper comfort for the users, but also to have operate the entire systems in an energy efficient manner.